Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
You know, about the only way that I know what day of the week it is anymore is Thursday because it's the show. Otherwise, they all just kind of together right about now.
Gonna be totally honest with you, I did not know it was Thursday for half the day.
Well, what about the other half of the day?
I don't know. It's all a little bit of a blur.
What kind of blur? Are we talking like a, drunken beer goggle blur? Are we talking like a you're moving your head too fast blur? Are we talking like the Flash zooming around type of blurs? Lots of different type of blurs this could be.
Whichever one works best for you.
Well, this was a question 10 for you, not for me.
Of course. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is a Thursday Night Hangout. This is a show for you, by you, where Zealeus and I are basically me and a co-host, which is almost 100% Zealeus these days. Break down the topics that you have provided us via our Discord channel or through any of the other social media means. Let's start it right off. Let's do the heavy hitters, ladies and gentlemen. I have some very, very bad news. It turns out that because of this COVID-19 epidemic, or pandemic, there you go, pandemic that's happening across the world, there has once again become a shortage of Nintendo Switches everywhere.
What?
Now, here's a fun little twist for everyone out there who does have a Nintendo Switch. Be very, very careful with your Switch.
How careful should we be, sir?
You do not want to break anything on it because currently the Switch repair shop is closed.
No!
Yeah.
Good thing I haven't broken anything yet.
Yeah, don't break anything. Don't do it. It's not good.
That's not the only thing related to the Switch, though, is it?
What else is there, Zealeus?
There is a shortage of Switches to start with. We are back to Christmas levels of prices because basically everybody's like, oh, I need my console to play because we're all stuck at home. So everybody bought all of the Switches. So you can buy them for like $400+ off of Amazon or eBay because of like the actual normal outlets are sold out of the Switches. So apparently, as Charlie mentioned on the Discord, I got mine just in time.
Yes. It looks like currently, if you're looking for the Nintendo Switch with gray Joy-Con and the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe full game download, you're looking at about $540.
Damn!
If you're looking for the Nintendo Switch gray Joy-Con, no games included, you're looking at $430.
So that's a pretty decent upcharge.
Indubitably. So yes, I mean, I believe everyone kind of saw this coming. I mean, the sheer popularity of the Switch when it first came out, and I got lucky as hell, and I was able to buy two of them, and I was going to sell both of them, but I ended up selling one for $100 profit, and then I was like, you know what? Damn it! There's so many freaking good games out there, especially the Zelda game. I was like, I'm cracking. I have to. I need one. And now, of course, that's basically my main gaming console because I can take it where I go.
It seems like that's worked out pretty freaking well for you.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I've been playing a lot of games. And then if y'all have noticed, if you subscribe to our Twitch channel or you're following us on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, you'll see that there's been some random live streams that have been happening throughout the day, especially today, revolving around my son taking the controls. Now, he's been playing Lego Marvel Heroes #2, but I have turned off his mic.
Oh,
because
good call.
I don't need.
Does he curse too much?
No, it's not that. It's I curse too much. Trying to be a good influence, damn it. But yeah, no.
Why start now?
Exactly.
Oh, wait, no.
No, but anyways, so if you see, the Switch is, and also it doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt the fact that you can put the two Joy-Cons onto this little. Here it is. This little bad boy right here, and you've got yourself another controller.
I thought you had yourself a the Pro controller though.
Yeah, I got this one too, but my son's using the Pro one, and I have to jump in and help him.
Oh, I got you.
Otherwise, if actually you want to be, this kid is like the evilest superhero of them all. When he gets bored, he just starts killing his own teammates. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I'm bored, so I'm killing Captain America. I'm like, that's not how you're supposed to play. You know what? Screw it.
What game is that?
It's the Lego Marvel Heroes #2 for the Switch.
How is that game?
It's Legos, and it's Marvel.
Do you know how many Lego games I've actually played?
You're missing out.
Big fat zero. I've never actually played a Lego game.
You should be, hell, at the bare minimum, you should be playing Lego Harry Potter. I mean,
it's worth getting.
Yeah, but almost every single Lego game I've played that I own is really good. Anyway, so speaking of games to play, there was an article that came out sometime last week, I believe, that basically gave a list of very long RPGs that are recommended to play during this time of mass quarantine.
Ooh.
Now, the 9 that they've listed, I don't know if I completely agree with all 9, but I will tell you the 9 that they've listed, and then you can, you can be the judge if you've played any of these. Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a PlayStation 4 exclusive, so that's not going to work for me.
I've never played it, but I've actually, when the PS4 got to like $200,
yeah,
I almost actually could. I mean, other games too, but Horizon Dawn, from everything I've read of it, almost actually pushed me to get the PS4, which is kind of the purpose of, to be fair, exclusivity games.
Of course, of course.
I didn't get it obviously, but almost.
Yeah. There is Xenoblade Chronicles #2, which of course is on the Switch.
Do you have that one on the Switch?
I do not.
Yeah, it says right now on my wish list, but I have not got it.
It says if you hurry, it's 50 hours. If you don't, it's 100+.
Well, yeah, there's a reason it's still on my wish list, because I'm like, let me play my other. I still have Final Fantasy to play, Final Fantasy 11. So let me play that first.
You mean?
Or not 11? Yeah. What is it? I know 12? It's Zodiac Age. I can never remember the number now.
10. 8, 9?
No, it's definitely not 10. I know. I think it's 8.
Is that the one with the card game?
I don't know. It has it's Zodiac Age. That's what I know.
Is it got a card game?
It's got the princess chick. It's the one where, like, the princess at the very beginning, you think she's dead, but she joins your party.
Zodiac what? Zodiac
Age.
Final Fantasy 12.
That sounds right. I don't know. But that's another very long game. So I'm like, all right, let me wait.
And then you have Nier Automata,
which I've heard great things about.
I've heard great things about it as well, but I've heard it's like pretty dang cool, pretty dang weird as well. Fallout 4, which I don't know if I could do another Fallout. I got, I think I got spoiled. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Fallout, but the problem is that I wish Fallout was more like Borderlands.
Is it? It's more like a Morrowind, more of that type of open world. Yeah.
Yeah, Morrowind. Is that?
Yep.
No, Morrowind's #3. It's Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls.
I was like, I know it's Morrowind, but I was like, is it Skyrim? No, it's Elder Scrolls.
So I'll give a random aside, because now you have me curious. So this is the funny thing about the Switch is I was looking, Harry Potter Lego is from Amazon. You can get the collecting set for $20 for both games. And I'm now a fan of digital distributions. I'm like, I wonder how much it is from the Nintendo store. Take a wild guess how much it is from the Nintendo store.
15?
$50. Yeah. I was like, that's interesting. I'm like, if I were to get it, I think I'd just get it from Amazon.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth the $30 upcharge. Agreed.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, was kind of my impression, but whatever. I mean, it also seems that's kind of like Nintendo's thing is they're not really big into like doing the whole discount thing. It's like, nope, you can buy it at full price.
To be honest with you, I think it has to do with I think they have to okay it with the publisher. I don't think it's something, but at the same time, there should be that big of a discrepancy, unless, of course, Amazon. You got Prime. Maybe there's a Prime deal or something.
Yeah, but even like I also use Camel to see what the prices are.
Like, I don't even know
And
what
if
the
you
hell
look at like
camel is.
oh, it's basically it has price history of anything on Amazon. It's
Oh,
really cool. And if you
camel,
look
camel,
at it,
camel. That's 3 camels.
basically for the last couple of months, it's been at $20.
Well, damn, mother
So it's
effer.
kind of like the normal price.
Hmm.
But thanks to you, I know what game I'm buying now, you jackhaggin.
Sorry, my friend.
Stop making me spend money.
Yeah, no. Okay, so anyways, where the hell did we leave off on that list? Okay, Fallout 4. And of course, there it is, Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age.
Ah.
So Zealeus is on there. The Witcher 3, which is a phenomenal, actually all the Witcher games. Just play all the Witcher games and you'll be fine. The Last of Us. Let me be totally honest with you. At the end of the day, I was not totally impressed with The Last of Us. It was a good game, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like, they're like, oh my God, it's so amazing. We're going to make a TV series. I'm like, I believe it when I see it.
But is The Last of Us really? I never played it, but Last of Us from the previews and reviews, it seemed more like a survival game than a straight up RPG game to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a pandemic survival game.
Because all the games we're describing so far, they're straight up like RPGs.
Right. But
I mean, I know there's variances, but it just seems like that's kind of like a one almost like out of left field given the other ones.
Well, how about this one? They also list Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
But that's more like you do have some RPG-ish elements to that. But I don't know. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. No shit, Sherlock. It says, assuming you jump through the story hurdles Nintendo's lined up to get to the end, about 50 hours. Completionists, though, can spend 200 hours or more. Yup. Yup. I believe it. Oh, yeah. So I'm playing Labyrinth of Refrain. I still can't stop that game. Because I think...
Wait, did you finish your list, though?
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Oh, okay.
The bottom of it was the Zelda game.
Gotcha.
Now, okay, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I do not know what this craze is that's going on called Animal Crossing. I've never played Animal Crossing, so I must be missing something. But dear Jesus, everybody's got like a funny story to talk about for Animal Crossing. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
It's basically like a. Did you ever play? There's another game just like it you may have played that I can't remember right now. I'm having a total brain fart. It's in my Steam library.
Oh, that's not good.
But my Steam just exited out because I misclicked. It's basically like a daily farming game is the best way I can put it. Where basically you have like a little civilization and basically you help your people live and stuff. That's kind of the best way I know how to describe it.
It's called like Farm Moon or something.
Yeah, it's like a farming game, basically.
Yeah.
But fun, I guess.
Wow, that's mean. It's like farming, but fun.
Well, I'm not a farmer in real life. I don't know if you know this or not, but
What?
I don't think I'd be very good at it, to be fair, either.
What?
Yeah, I think I'd be a bad farmer.
Okay, if you insist.
I don't have any of that good like farmer strength. Like farmers, because they do like work outside. They got like muscles. I don't got muscles, man. Stardew Valley, that's the game I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Stardew Valley?
No, I've seen it several times.
Okay, it's apparently like it's obviously not, but it's kind of like Stardew Valley in that type of where you have to grow crops and stuff and do those type of things. So it's kind of like that. It's the best I know, which means I'm not going to play it because I could not get into Stardew Valley. I tried.
Well, I'm sorry. Maybe. I don't know.
But that's the beauty of video games. Is there are so many different types for people different.
It is the beauty of video games.
Yeah, different types of what people want, and there's always a market for your video game. You just gotta find it.
Agree. So, speaking of games to play while you're locked away at home, I know basically all the stuff that we've listed so far, they're kind of like console centric. There are two MMOs for the PC that you may want to look into if you haven't in the past. That, of course, there's 2 of them, and Zealeus and I have played both of them. And that, of course, is LoTRO, also known as Lord of the Rings Online, and DDO, called Dungeons & Dragons Online. And the reason
those are Turbine games.
Yep. And the reason why I bring up both of those is that, ladies and gentlemen, Turbine has decided to make all DLC free for those 2 games. So if you want to jump in for the full shenanigans, and if you were...
Man, that's... LoTRO has been around for a long time, man.
I know.
And you still got your lifetime subscription.
Yep. Sure do.
I mean, it's got a 9 out of 10 rating on Steam. Not too shabby.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. But at the same time...
Well, okay, to be fair, when was the last time you played LoTRO?
14 years ago?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
How long has it been out? Anyways, LoTRO.
Well, you just said 14 years.
It was out in 2007, so that's not possible. It's been 14 years.
That'd be 13. It's still not too far away.
Okay, so I would say 10 years. When did it go free to play?
Oh, gosh.
Because that's really, when it went free to play, I picked it up one more time and then kaputsied.
I couldn't begin to tell you.
2010. So,
Jeez.
Yeah, just under 10 years. I have a poster that all the developers signed for LoTRO hanging in my office from one of the years I went to PAX.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is nice, damn it. But yeah.
It's kind of fun looking on Steam right now. I'm just kind of like looking at people's like numbers of hours in the game.
Oh God, yes.
It's like, wow, that's
no.
2,400 hours.
Dude, you want to see something crazy? If y'all out there have iPhones or an iPad or whatever, go into the App Store and see what like the top free and the top paid game are. Well, first of all, the top free, I don't think is actually a game. I think it's one of like the teleconference software. It's a big surprise there. Let me see if I can figure this out. But anyways, yeah. Speaking of Valve or Steam, I don't know if y'all heard or not, but Steam is going to reboot their terribly, how do I put this? Their card game that went called Artifact.
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
They are going to basically relaunch Artifact. They're going to call it Artifact 2. Big surprise. I'm not 100% sure about all the details, but yeah, they're going to try again.
So speaking of Steam, though, then you have Half-Life Alyx, their VR game, which is actually apparently phenomenal.
You know what the funny thing is? There's a lot of people going, that's amazing, but could you make it not VR so we can all play it?
I mean, to be fair, when's the last time Valve released a first-person game? Or not first-person game, but a first-person title?
First-party title.
Thank you. I knew I was not saying that right.
And before Artifact, I don't know.
Well, apparently Half-Life is might be that VR game that you need to get VR to play it with. Maybe. I mean, I'm still not jumping on VR, but apparently it is.
It's too expensive for my blood. It is. I mean, I don't have the monies.
No, I hear that, yo. It's, yep. I wonder, can your rig play a VR? Like, if you got the Oculus Rift, could it play VR games?
I think so.
Probably. I'm just curious.
I don't know. Just because Zealeus asked about the games that Valve has self-published or created. Oh, that's cheating. Okay, so you have Half-Life Alyx. Then, of course, you have Artifact, which is in 2018. Before that was something called The Lab, I don't know what the hell that is. And then Left 4 Dead Survivors.
Ah.
And then a bunch of Counter-Strikes. And then Dota 2.
Oh, I forgot that they made Counter-Strike.
That's one of the mini games that I will never play because it's too fucking realistic. And gosh darn it, I have a hard enough time trying to run and shoot. Now I got to worry about getting shot in the leg and bleeding out because of not paying attention. No, thank you.
Realism, man, it's where it's at.
Screw realism. I want sci-fi fantasy craziness to the 10th degree.
Is that why you love your Lego games?
Yes.
There you go.
And also, the Lego games have it's got some fun humor in there too. I mean, it stays pretty good with the source material, but it adds its own kind of like zany spins to it, which I can appreciate.
There you go.
Now, I know that we've basically been bouncing back and forth about the convention that Zealeus and I have been basically hoping for this entire year thus far, and it's almost 100% confirmed that it is being postponed. That, of course, is MomoCon. Everyone has not received an email yet, which is still weird because I'm press for MomoCon, and you would think that I would get notification that I no longer will need to, get my press credentials or my fan table or my panels.
Yep.
So that's still a little weird that I haven't received anything like that. But
honestly, still have your press pass is what you're saying, so you might be able to still just kind of show up.
Yeah. I'm here to pick up my press pass.
Come on, right?
Like, what? No, look, here's
Sorry, go on.
I say here's the deal. I know that MomoCon is gonna get is getting postponed, and I hope that they find a date that works for everyone. I just want them to actually come out and say that's exactly what's happening, instead of this, I don't know, we're still kind of in this weird ass land of who the fuck knows.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of weird right now still. It's like, we don't know. No. Well, no, the other question that's kind of come up because they've started posting on Facebook about DragonCon volunteers and getting stuff together for that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's still 6 months away, but consider, the number one issue with C19 is physical proximity. And like most conventions, DragonCon is all about that close proximity. So even 6 months away, are we going to be having tens of thousands of people type of gatherings?
Right. Well, I mean, AWA is still on as well. That's Anime Week in Atlanta, but that's not until October. So that's way out there. But at the same time, when you talk about some of these conventions, because of just the sheer size of them, you're probably talking international people, especially DragonCon. They always get, they've got people from the UK and from Japan and from basically all over the world. So something like that, that's got to be freaking hard. I mean, that's kind of the reason why, E3 got canceled, South by Southwest, but E3 is what, June? When is E3? When was E3, I should say?
Because that was I think that was June. That sounds about right, because that was one of the first
it's supposed to be June
really
11th.
Big conventions to fall.
Yeah. And then South by Southwest was also by Southwest. That was earlier,
though.
Yeah, that's in
South by Southwest was canceled 2 weeks before.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to figure out, like the Tokyo Game Show. That's.
I would not be surprised if we see the larger conventions canceled for quite some time. Honestly,
oh God, yes.
I would actually, at this point, I would actually be surprised if DragonCon happens.
I would not be surprised whatsoever if it didn't end up happening.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, look, they cancel or they postpone the damn Olympics. I think that every single mass event should just, time out and move. Now, of course, here's the problem. And this is happening to the mom and pop shops, and also those fledgling conventions. Is you've invested so much money. You've basically, you've got the talent in there. You're bringing in names to bring people in. You've got venues, all that stuff. So what is the question that people are having to deal with as event planners or event coordinators and stuff is, can they get all their money back? And also, a lot of shops and conventions and all that stuff, hell, vendors mainly, they bank on the fact that they're going to make a shit ton of money. Excuse me, at like a MomoCon or I know Kanuga happened and I knew Chattacon happened, but like conventions, PAX, and are any of the PAX has been canceled yet? That's actually a really good question. But the thing is, you got so many of these vendors who are literally traveling from convention to convention and that's their livelihood. And so now you're shutting that down. How are you about to? Yes, we have this beautiful thing called the internet, and the internet will equalize everything. No, that's not true. And the leader of the FCC made damn sure that that's not true. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the information highway, HOV lanes, and superpass lanes.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, the thing is, a lot of companies, be them individuals, a lot of artists have basically, I don't want to say hoard themselves out, but they're making it abundantly clear that because of the change in schedule that they are available for special commissions. And to be honest with you, the best example I can give of what this kind of feels like is why does it always come back to this? Is MonsterCon. For those of you out there who don't know what MonsterCon is, MonsterCon was a convention that happened in Greenville, South Carolina. It was a pretty good sized convention. It happened the 3 times that was I there 3 or 4 times? 3 times, I think. Yeah, I think that both times they happened. The first 2 happened at the Tillman Arena, which is on Furman University's campus, and the third one happened in a location that basically was the kiss of death. And that last convention is a great example of everyone basically, scratching each other's backs, because you had a convention that had a couple thousand people showing up in years previous to this convention, the last one, with 120 people showing up, and literally all of the cosplayers were buying other cosplayers' stuff. The artists were buying other artists' stuff. Anyone who had their arts and crafts, they were selling it to other people, because literally everyone was trying to get out of there just to break even, because it was such a shit show.
Yep.
And I know that Zealeus and I, we helped. I bought a wallet from one vendor, which was awesome, and I unfortunately finally had to retire that wallet.
No.
Yeah, the Attack on Titan wallet.
Damn.
Yeah, it finally just crapped out. And then, of course, my favorite random ass purchase to help out an artist is, of course, my Green Lantern Dachshund statue.
Oh yeah,
which
it's
is
still
awesome.
in its great place.
Exactly, but that's the thing. I mean, that's what we're seeing now, is that all these local, all the the small vendors and stuff, they're literally having to turn to each other. Maybe not, it would make no sense for, for vendor A to buy vendor B stuff, and then vendor B buys C, and then C buys A, and it's like this weird ass circle, because no one's going to make money. But what you're seeing is you're seeing a bunch of different. When you travel to these conventions, you basically, it's a circuit. You're going to see the same people at a lot of these conventions. So hopefully you've made good friends with these people, and they're pushing your stuff and you're pushing their stuff to try to get at least something happening.
The one, I don't know if you remember him, that I still see at every convention, is the wood engraver guy.
Yes.
And but I see him both at MomoCon and DragonCon.
Yep.
And everyone, I'm like, hey man, and he's like, oh yeah. So but it's kind of, you see the same people at a lot of the different conventions. It's very common.
Oh yeah, I mean, if and to be totally honest with you, this is one of the problems with being an independent video game news and review website is that we got no monies. If we had a little bit more money, a little bit more flexibility, we would definitely be more into the Carolina circuit, and that's where we've met a ton of the people. I mean, that's how we met White Kid and Dave Harlequin and all these amazing people. Con Carolina was awesome. Big fan of Greenville, MonsterCon. There's actually the last MonsterCon, which was an absolute utter failure. That's how we met. That's how we met Whacked Kid. Was they interviewed us there?
Yeah.
Before we passed out from heat exhaustion, which we didn't, by the way. However, it was a pretty close call with a lot of people. Anyways, so I mean, if as a person who has not been an attendee to a conference in a long ass time, I totally feel for these people who literally their livelihood and their life has been going to these conventions and now they're not there. So one, they're not making the money, and two, it's kind of weird, like your body gets used to that circuit, and then you're like, I should be doing something. I do something every single May at this date and time. I'm supposed to be somewhere. So when MomoCon shows up, or the May 21st to the 24th, it is going to be so freaking weird for me. I may have to try to stop myself from packing my car. Because in my mind, I'm going, okay, well, I got to get the TV, and I got to get the Alienware up to date, and, I got to get the tablecloth.
Oh, the Alienware.
And I got to make sure I got the whiteboard, and the our banner, we got to make sure we got enough buttons, and then, then I'll stop and go, I don't have to do that right now. But at the same time, I'm like, but it's May. Because I've done MomoCon for, this is my 8th or 9th year.
Now, what about your trip? Has that been canceled?
Most likely, yes. I was supposed to go, for those of you out there who don't know, I was supposed to go to MomoCon that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then I was supposed to fly out Sunday, and then I was going to be out of town until the following Sunday. But it looks like everything's being, ain't no MomoCon without Altered Confusion. Thank you, Corey. But yeah, here's the thing. Hindsight being 2020, if I knew this shit was going to go down, I would have gone to Chattacon, or I would have gone to Canuga. Probably would have had to sneak into Canuga, but whatever.
Yeah. Canuga.
Look, here's the thing.
It's just kind of funny that how that works out, because we had gone a number of years. And then all of a sudden, it's like, well, now who knows when our next convention might be.
So for those of you out there who don't know, I mean, I feel like this is like, it's like a history lesson. Altered Confusion history lesson 101. We went to MonsterCon. Now MonsterCon's dead. Canuga is not dead. Or sorry, Canuga is not dead.
Still going strong.
However, I think it's not that we, what's it called? Outstayed our welcome. But they didn't want to hear about my critique of their convention anymore.
You just got too much of a voice, man.
Look, here's the deal. At the end of the day, I'm going to tell it how it is. When it comes to a convention, here to all of those convention people out there who invite Altered Confusion, if I slam your convention, but I ask to come back, that means I see potential. And I'm listing the shit that I think, if you do, would make your convention just mind-blowingly amazing. I'm not trying to belittle you. I understand that not everything's perfect. It isn't. Holy shit, it's not. But at the same time, it's my job to critique. I'm a fucking reviewer. Like, what do you want from me?
It's your job, man. It's how you make your livelihood.
Look, the problem is, that for me, the cream of the crop, the perfect, the almost perfect convention for me to go to is MomoCon, because they know how to treat you well. They've got enough staff. I've only had a couple small itty bitty little issues, but it's nothing big. Like at Canuga, no offense, but we got kicked in the nads and we're thrown all the way in the far corner, and the entire volunteers for the vendor hall moved everyone but us off that row and left us in the very corner where no one was going to see us. And then, of course, they also had, some shit going on about, we were trying to get in for free passes without doing the work. And
oh, yeah, I forgot about
look,
that.
here's the deal. If I misinterpreted something, then I did. However, I asked a series of questions to make sure that I didn't accidentally, say the wrong thing. Like some conventions, I get a free badge because I'm a panelist. At Canuga, for those of you, by the way, let me just back up and say Canuga is a phenomenal convention. Go to it if you're near the Chattanooga area. It happens.
It is definitely fun. I actually enjoy it. For me, I really did enjoy it.
I don't want to turn anyone away, but there was just a couple of issues that we had that kind of came like super duper to light because one of the people at Canuga decided to take it the wrong way and decided to do it in the public forum about chewing my ass out, but whatever. But basically, when AlteredConfusion goes to a convention, we're gonna get a fan table. We're probably doing a panel or two, and I'm gonna be applying for media. And I'm going to be totally honest with you, because I'm trying to juggle regular life and all this stuff, sometimes I forget what I've been accepted for. Like, usually I know that I'm going to be given a panel. It's not like I walk in and go, oh, shit, that's right, I'm doing a panel. It's more...
What's a panel?
Am I a panelist and press, or is it just a panelist? Now, at Canuga, you have to do a certain number of hours in order to get the panelist badge for free. So, I asked. They said, no, you don't qualify for that. I said, well, maybe it's under press. And then apparently that was a shitstorm, and they just gave us the badges for free, even though they weren't supposed to, because they just wanted us not to make a scene. I wasn't trying to make a scene. I'm asking an honest question. And to be and to bring this like completely, God, geez, we're in like a bitch session, whatever. To really drive this point home, I had Zealeus go to the ATM and pull out money to buy the effing badges. And then like, oh no, we'll just give it for them. And then they're gonna, try to attack me afterwards.
Well,
You know what the funny thing is? So, I think like the 3 conventions, there's 3 that I think I've rubbed the creators the wrong way, and 1 threatened me. Well, actually, 2 threatened me, and the 3rd hated my guts for the first 2 years, and then is a really good friend now. And that's AndoCon, or Ando.
Ando! Where is Ando?
He's somewhere in Georgia. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing. He's doing a like a radio show podcast. It's like like that old school, like we call it like radio adventures, where it's all audio, War of the World type thing, but it's for like a more like, I don't know, like fantasy sci-fi thing. That's the last I've heard that he's doing. But anyways, AndoCon, the first 2 years, I critiqued the shit out of it. And Ando was like, why the fuck does this guy keep asking to come back? He keeps ripping us a new one. And then I think it clicked. He's like, wait. He's actually a pretty good guy. He's telling us what he sees isn't where it needs to be. Aha.
But he's still jackwagon. But we can just ignore that for now.
I mean, let's be honest with you. I'm always going to rub people the wrong way on certain things. Hell, I do that with my family. That's why I can't. There's a couple of topics that I cannot bring up in my family, because depending on who's there, it could be an all-out brawl.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
I love my family so much. But anyways,
don't we all love our family?
Most of us.
Depends on the day, the month, the week.
Exactly. But okay, so now that we basically, I've talked about conventions, even though we've been decreasing conventions for the past couple of years, which is sad. Actually, here's a convention that may or may not happen. That, of course, is Siege. That's Southeastern Interactive Game Expo, which is very misleading. It's the Georgia Game Developers Association convention. It had been in previous years, I believe, held at like a Marriott off of 75 North. And then, of course, they moved it to Kennesaw State into this like building that's way the hell off of Kennesaw State's campus, which I didn't know. But I was able to go there, and I was the moderator. Oh my God, this really is going to become a Charlie bitch session.
I'm here to listen, man.
Look, here's the deal. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and of the interwebs and the zeros and ones and craziness that is everything. How many ones and zeros? I have done a lot of things. I've worn a lot of hats. Some don't fit my head. Some of them are too big. No, I'm just kidding.
Or are you too big for your hat?
Ha 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 ha. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of I know that a lot of people out there know this already, but I'm going to say it again. Ladies and gentlemen, I of course am I have a bachelor's of science in game development and design from Full Sail University. I have been in the industry. I helped make cell phone games before there was such thing as a smartphone. The company I worked for decided that iPhone was a fad, and guess what? That company's no longer around. I have unfortunately not been back into the game industry. However, I went into kind of like a press media thing. I tried to be like the big dogs and tried to review all the AAA titles I could get my hands on through GameFly because money doesn't grow on trees. And then I decided, you know what? I'd rather help out the little guys because they have more cool and interesting games. So I've been basically, helping as much as I can for the independent scene. By the way, if you haven't already, check out Round Guard. That's RUNDGUARD. It is a phenomenal game. I've played the shit out of it on the Switch, and I believe it's also available on several other platforms. You definitely.
I ended up actually downloading that because of you.
It is awesome. I interviewed the I think it was the media head of media relations there. It's a great game. But anyway,
it is fun.
Getting back on the topic. So I've been a developer. I've been QA. And of course I've been, QA reviewer, tester, whatever. And also outside the industry, I've been a QA manager. I've been a technical writer. I've been quality assurance, which is QA. That's what QA stands for, ladies and gentlemen. I know a lot of people are like, what is QA?
Wait, we have QA?
Yes.
What?
I've also been a project manager, and I've been a bunch of stuff. So when I was asked to be a moderator on a panel, I said, yeah, absolutely, because it dealt with quality assurance and how individuals, recommendations of how to interface with individuals in QA and test. And so there's a gentleman there that was a developer. I think it's like a lead developer or something. And he kept giving me the stink eye every single time I tried to answer one of the questions. Like, I don't know anything. Don't judge a book by its cover.
What do you truly know, though?
I know. Here's my.
How much of the book does Charlie know?
Here's the phrase that should always be linked to me. I know enough to be dangerous.
So you're a dangerous man, is what you're saying?
Yes. You put me on the phone. If this happened, I'm not going to give too much information, but I was at one of my previous jobs. One of the employees, I was in the IT department. One of the employees working for that company knocked on my door and said, hey, I don't know what the hell is going on. We're on the phone with the developer, and he's just talking stuff that doesn't make any sense. Can you hop on the call? I said, yeah, sure. And I introduced myself, said, hey, my name's Charlie. I'm part of the IT department. Just wanted to, if you could just catch me up on what's going on. And then, buddy. The developer tried to use some very fancy language, and I was just like, no. Mm-mm.
How fancy was this language?
Well, it's like, we've got several layers of programming protocol and of documentation, and I was like, okay, when something's broken, how do you fix it? Well, we make a patch. Okay. And how many different environments does this patch get tested in? What do you mean? I said, how many environments do you have before it goes to production? He's like, well, we got development. I was like, okay. Do you have like a QA environment, a UAT, which is user acceptance testing, for those of you who don't know. and production. He goes, no, it's just dev and production. I said, okay, so your testers have access to dev. He's like, what testers? I said, who tests your stuff before it goes out? He goes, why would anyone need a test? I'm the one who fixed it. I know it works. So as soon as I fix it on my computer, I just pump it out. I'm like, wait, so it's not a dev environment, it's your PC. And then is there like a scheduled like patch window that you do all this stuff? No. I was like, can I know it's going to sound weird, but can I talk to your manager? I got a question for him. Well, you don't need to talk to them. I can answer your questions. No, you can't. No, I think I can. No. So
you've pretty much shown you cannot.
Yeah. So long story short, that company, our company, had to terminate the agreement with that company because, because that software dealt with CP&I, which for those out there who don't know what CP&I is, Zealeus, do you know what CP&I is?
Credit Card Protocol International of America.
Customer proprietary network information.
I was guessing.
So basically, like your name, your address, sometimes your social security number, your birth date, all that stuff.
Yep.
If you're a developer and you just willy-nilly throwing shit around that with software that deals with that, no.
But why not?
Because no. Also,
no.
Something that I did point out during
you take all the fun out of this, man.
I'm sorry. One thing that I will point out is, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a developer or a creator of any means and you want to, like, you have your test group or whatever, one thing that I highly recommend is that you do not use the same people that you have at the beginning that you do at the end.
But they know the game so well, so they can easily see that everything is correct.
Right. Which is why you have so many independent developers out there who go, I decided to reinvent the wheel. We're not going to do WASDA. We're going to do UHJK because it works better on my keyboard.
Whoa. What about going like UVM comma?
How about
really change things
up? A T, a D, a B, and a K.
Now we're being bold. I like the way you're thinking.
Just spread your fingers across the keyboard. No, seriously. First of all, if you want to reinvent the wheel and you want to do something that's not WASDA, which of course is WASD, which is basically your standard for moving around in a game, if you're not using the arrow keys, then for the love of all that's holy, allow key mapping.
Please.
If you're using DirectX, for those developers out there, I know I'm getting really techno-y out here, or technological, whatever. If you use DirectX, it is not hard to do key binding. I did it in my sleep. Not literally, but pretty close to it.
That's extra work, man.
Yeah. But people can change it to a more accessible key combination. Or here's a crazy thought. You give alternative configurations. A lot of games out there give you, their what do they usually say? There's like their aggressive gamepad setup, or their games out there. Literally, they decide that each character class deserves an alteration to the game pad layout, because if you're healer, you're going to be doing this more than anything else. Do that. Have like a normal, and then have like we recommend this for healers and for tanks and for DPS and support. Did I name them all?
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm... Hold on.
You seem very confused.
Okay, I did DPS, I did tank, I did support, and I did healer.
That's pretty much sums up most
like
classes.
One more. Is there a
Sometimes you have like a buffer or debuffer,
which
I guess is usually support.
Yeah.
Well, you could break DPS into melee versus range.
There you go. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
You got your warrior versus ranger.
Yeah. Well, usually it's like ninja or like thief or something versus ranger or mage.
Oh no, it's a rogue.
A
That's the
rogue,
fancy term.
yes.
We don't want to use the thief, and ninja has that Asian connotation. So it's a rogue.
A rogue can be anything.
Yeah, I do find it funny that some of these they try to be creative. It's like, oh yeah, a guy, a character who's super duper into just attack. We're gonna call him a barbarian. Okay. A rogue is the thief. Magic user, mage, wizard, sorcerer.
Mm.
Your ranged attack is usually like a hunter or a ranger, archer, sniper. Your tank.
There's always a tank, man.
I know, but what are the other words? Frontliner is another term for tank.
Meat shield.
Meat shield.
The grinder.
Shield, grinder. I mean, it's very
aggro holder.
It's very interesting to see, how some games try to like hide the, because let's be honest, every single the vast majority of RPGs out there or MOBAs or whatever, they're all the exact same kind of like class breakdown. But some companies out there want to seem unique, so they give a flashy name. But at the end of the day, and I think this is why a lot of people try different MMOs, because oh, well, I was a ranger in this one, but a hunter sounds more like what I'd want to do. And then you play the game, and then you find out a hunter is the same effing thing as a ranger, and so what you thought was a brand new idea or concept is actually the same damn thing. Actually, Zealeus, I think you ran into that a bunch when you were going through your
some
MMO
games do
haul.
it better than others, because you take for instance, like a Guild Wars 2 or Guild Wars, where each class you don't really actually have that holy trinity. Like some characters will lend themselves potentially better towards tanking or healing or whatever, but every class can basically do every skill. So that's, you do see that a lot more in more of your action type of MMOs.
Yeah.
Where you don't see the straight up just regular traditional holy trinity is what it feels like. It's the old school tab targeting style of like a World of Warcraft or like a Final Fantasy 14 or probably LoTRO Online, because those are kind of like your classic combat games. So you're going to see the more classic holy trinity, but you get into the more modern action RPG styles, they try not having just a straight up holy trinity, but usually still need somewhat of dedicated classes.
Agreed. Just for shits and giggles, I've pulled up the classes of Lord of the Rings Online and WoW and Guild Wars. Guild Wars, the core professions are warrior, ranger, monk, necromancer, mesmer, and elementalist. So
the mesmer was really fun, actually.
A lot more into the magical realm.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft, of course, is warrior, paladin, rogue, hunter, priest, death knight, mage, shaman, warlock, monk, demon hunter, and druid.
Which were those were your classic holy trinities.
Yep. Well, I mean, if you really want to go towards the classic, you're talking paladin. It's basically the war mage, is in my mind.
Well, you could spec into tank or healer,
right?
At least.
Exactly.
So you can change it up, but you're still, what you would healer class, you basically nerfed all of your damage abilities.
Well, it basically a paladin is a priest with armor. A priest that's a tank priest.
So a Knight Templar.
Basically, yeah. But you got your warrior, you got your hunter and rogue, basically the same thing. Your paladin and your death knight. A lot of people would say that's basically priest and shaman. And okay, so let's go with LoTRO here real quick. So you have your, I don't even know how the hell to pronunciate that. Broning, which is damage support. Burglar, There's another rogue thief.
A burglar.
Yep. Captain, which is support. Champion, which is your warrior.
Yeah.
Guardian, that's your tank. Hunter, self-explanatory. Lore master, that's going to be basically your whatchamacallit, your druid.
Yeah.
Your minstrel, that's a healer support. That's basically like the buffer or debuffer. Rune keeper, that's your that's more your magic user. Warden is basically the I guess the magic user that's all about defense.
All kinds of options, sir.
Right, but I mean the thing is, those names, it's no matter the game, you could really boil it down. They're the exact same kind of like character classes. It's just
they at least
names.
try to change up the skills and how you orient with your classes. So it makes it a little bit more interesting.
Right. I mean, then you have other games out there who've decided, you know what, screw it. You're just a plain Jane, and you can put like, you can have warrior skills and then rogue skills and magic user skills, and just this hodgepodge, which I find is, I would as a designer, I would never do that, simply because I mean it's cool. You craft your own character, but balancing would be a bitch.
Well, that's what Path of Exile does. I mean, you have a class you start with, but because it's a skill tree, you can go anywhere in like the huge nodes that you want to basically create your own crazy custom character, no matter what you start with.
Yeah.
Which is also can be very overwhelming to the player too. So it kind of cuts both ways. But you even see MMOs. I mean, that's the Final Fantasy X strategy, where you had the great, crazy big nodes, and that's your, Final Fantasies, your prototypical RPGs.
Yeah. I mean, and speaking of, actually, I just pull it up here. Talking about different classes and stuff. Labyrinth of Refrain, the game that I've been playing the shit out of, has a couple different classes. They have. Let's see if I can find the damn thing. Just give me a fucking list. I know that there's one that you unlock later in the game. You have your Aster Knight. You have your Shinobushi, which is your thief. You have your Theatrical Star, which is your bard, your dancer. Insert other game there. The Marginal Maze, which is your mage. The Pier Fortress, which is your tank. The Mad Raptor, which is your hunter, ranger. And the Gothic Capella, which is I don't know how. Sorry, and Demon Reaper. Demon Reaper is the
Reaper of Demons. Whoa!
I'm not exactly sure.
Right?
Yeah, basically, you kill the demons. I have a shit. Let's just say I have a shit ton of Pier Fortresses, which are the tanks. And then a bunch of like the Mad Raptors and the Theatrical Star, because the Theatrical Star uses something called a bell, and the bell has a very good chance of basically bouncing your attack across all of the same type of creature. So if you're facing like 5 blobs, you can hit all 5 with your bell reverberation. And then your Mad Raptor from time to time will just start shooting arrows, and it'll unlock their special skill, which will just keep shooting until it can't shoot no more. There it is. Crossbow salvo to attack enemy group 10 times.
I shoot you a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, so one of the reasons why I keep bringing up all these different classes is that once upon a time, Zealeus and I created something, or I created and Zealeus helped refine a shit ton of it. And then, of course, there's other individuals out there. Let's see here. Without giving the real names away, we had Amagmus, we had Mithrin, we had Shibuba. I can't remember the
Who
other
is that?
That was a guy that played after you. He was one of the guys that played a lot during Full Sail.
Cool.
I can't remember the other names off the top of my head, but basically there's a ton of different people who played a game called Crystals of Prime, which was our homebrew system that was basically we took everything from AD&D, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, second edition, and we removed THADCO, and basically we made it our own, and then it got refined and refined again and refined again and refined again and refined again. Of course, it's totally different now. And I opened up the one of the binders today, a couple days ago, and I looked at it and I said, "Holy shit!"
Huh?
I don't remember half of this stuff.
Nice.
I was like,
that's the best kind of game.
That's what I decided to do, and
I meant you were doing it right.
Right. I know. So I mean, the thing is, I'm bouncing around a lot, and I apologize, or maybe I don't apologize. I don't know. But look, right now is the best time to be creative. If you have something,
everyone's home,
like a Crystals of Prime, then it's your time to dust it off. Or if what I've seen a lot of, actually, yeah, a lot of people are playing Dungeons and Dragons, not DDO, but basically a virtual tabletop version of Dungeons and Dragons, which has been a lot of fun. And I was supposed to be part of a group that was going to do I think it's like a month-long session, but some shit happened outside of the realm of Altered Confusion that I just don't have the time nor the energy to, unfortunately, take on that at this time.
Yeah.
But I do want to give a quick shout out, ladies and gentlemen. Unless something has happened, starting tomorrow, there's going to be a new Kickstarter that you have to check out. And that, of course, is...
Do we really have to, sir?
Yes, it is the next chapter expansion for Capers.
Capers?
Yes, I want to make sure that I get this right. I'm going to go to Kickstarter right now because I think he's got like a come back and see real soon thing. Nerdburger Games. Which, by the way, just look at Nerdburger Games.
Nerdburger Games. It's got lots of good stuff, man.
Burger.
I like burgers. Now I want a burger. I want a bacon burger with lots of cheese.
Oh, that's weird. Nerdburger's not there. Okay, let's try Capers.
Does Capers have burgers?
Huh?
Does Capers have burgers?
They should. Capers Off-World. Oh, he already started it. That motherfucker.
Are you surprised?
No, not at all. Capers Off-World, an RPG of retro future space cops and rocket robbers with superpowers.
Superpowers?
I don't know exactly when it started, but I'm assuming that it was recently. And he set the goal for 1,000, and he's already at 2,500, or over 2,500, and he's got 27 days to go. So you want in on this, and I'll actually post the link in the chat for anybody out there who wants to check it out. But you could always go to Kickstarter.com and just type in Capers, Capers, and you can get in on all of that awesome action.
It is the good stuff.
Now, of course, because we're getting near the end of the show, I do want to give Zealeus a chance to do any shout-outs or any games or any suggestions that or any advice for those who are stuck at home. Zealeus style, what do you do?
Go scalp yourself a Nintendo Switch off the street corner, come home, and start playing it.
Or you could just go to like GOG.com, GOG.com, which is goodoldgames.com if you have a PC or Mac. I think they got it through Mac, right?
I don't know. Actually, I haven't looked at my Mac to see.
But anyways,
I have Steam on my Mac, but I don't know about GOG.
Look at all the digital distribution platforms, be it the Epic Store, Steam, Good Old Games. See what's for free or what's heavily discounted, because there's a shit ton out there. There are a bunch of Facebook groups that are popping up to create basically virtual tabletop experiences, be it for Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, any of the Fate series. There's just, there's right now you can be part of something amazing without having to leave your house, which for introverts like myself, is phenomenally amazing. But also, ladies and gentlemen, seriously, if Altered Confusion could ever do, it can help out or just give you a chit chat, whatever, hit us up on Discord, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, And of course, during the streams on Twitch, you know, we love.
But that also means you have all the reason just to stay home, sequestered, and just play video games.
Or, you know, if Charlie gets really creative, I've been thinking about this. I've been toying with this idea of doing like crazy short stories.
Ooh.
With basically, I'll have basically, it's kind of like spin the wheel type thing.
Interesting.
Where I'll need like a couple of probably like characters, place, and I don't know, something else. And then I'll you know, it'd be like a dragon at a bowling alley saving the world.
Why is there a dragon in my bowling alley?
I don't know. Maybe it's a bowling alley just for dragons. You ever think about that? You speciesist?
I mean, you're going to have to describe in your novella why the dragons have their own bowling alley. Why don't
maybe
they
the entire world is made of dragons. Maybe we are dragons, we just don't know it.
Maybe they should go to the skeet shooting range instead.
Maybe I'm trying to promote non-violence.
But the bowling balls can hurt if you throw them at somebody.
Yeah, if you throw it at someone, but that's not the point.
Well, the
Unless,
gun,
of course, the pins are alive.
Ooh, that is an option.
And the gutters, if touched, releases a poisonous gas which kills your loved ones. Now we're getting dark, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what could happen.
I mean, that's where the dragon maybe gets its nauseous breath from.
Well, who's to say that dragons have to have noxious breath? Maybe they've got freezing breath, or electrical breath, or forgetful breath.
Well, all of the
confusion
above.
Breath, or
sure.
Whatever, stinky breath. Maybe just like it breathes on you and you forever smell like raw sewage.
Maybe you stink.
Maybe I do. I wouldn't know.
What do you know?
That unfortunately we've reached the end of the Altered Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to point out that like I said, make sure that you're subscribed to, make sure that you're following our Facebook page, Altered Confusion. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube page, AlteredConfusionLLC. Make sure that you tune in, or you're subscribed and notified for all of those, plus Twitch, which is twitch.tv/AlteredConfusion. You can also follow us on Twitter at... That's your cue, Zealeus.
What's the cue? Sorry.
Twitter.
Okay. So I've been really distracted. So Cyberdogs. I don't know why I got on this.
Yes. I love it.
I don't know where it started, but I was looking up information about the guy who created it. And I've been trying to basically like hunt down like if he ever did anything else. And it's really bothering me because like I can't find any other information about him. So I'm like, did the guy was Cyberdogs the last thing he ever did? Like there's not a LinkedIn, there's something else. Like, does he exist in the real world? It's just really bothering me that Cyberdogs is like the last thing I can find about this dude.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. It's like enamored me. But yes, you can find us at Twitter. And the Twitter is at AlteredConfusionLLC. But I'm missing something. What am I missing?
The N.
Why is there no N?
Because the N would break the internet.
And during this time of seclusion, what would we do without the internet?
Learn to whittle small statues?
Okay, that's actually a fair option. Maybe we could sell them at the next convention we go to.
Learn how to change a tire, change your oil, replace a battery.
You mean all those things our grandfathers used to do?
Yeah. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to thank everyone for tuning into the Altered Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you everything coming out of our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Thursday Night Hangout. But until then,
remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
amen to that, brother.